stop to think about what happens to your food before it gets to your table? And how about the environmental consequences of your food choices? Where you buy your food and what you put in your mouth affects you and your family's health. Join us today as we discover new ways to eat healthy, shop smart, and enjoy sustainably raised food. I'm Jenny Robinson. Today, our topic is one of my favorite subjects, food. More and more consumers are becoming more conscious of the food they buy, and it makes sense that the closer to home the food source, the more you know about how it's grown and the fewer middlemen there are in getting the food to your table. The San Diego Roots Sustainable Food Project is made up of a group of volunteers working to encourage the growth and consumption of local food. We have as our guests 4 representatives from this group who will help us learn more about this project. Our first guests are Matt Finkelstein, president of San Diego Roots, and Emily Rocky, an apprentice at La Milpa Organica Farm. Welcome to PACE.
Thank you for having us.
Let's begin with Matt. Tell us what San Diego Roots is all about.
Right. So San Diego Roots is a local nonprofit organization here in San Diego dedicated to educating, cultivating, and empowering sustainable food communities. We were formed in 2001 when a group of friends banded together to save a farm from development. It was a beautiful piece of land, and they were farming and selling at farmers markets, and the land was put up for sale to the highest bidder, and it was sold to development. And they were farming and selling at farmers markets, and the land was put up for sale to the highest bidder, and it was sold to development. And they also noticed that more and more farmers were getting driven off the land, and that people were becoming more and more disconnected from their food. So as an organization, we are seeking to return San Diego to its roots by providing a new agricultural moral consciousness. Let's start over. By providing a new paradigm for food production, consumption, and enjoyment.
Great.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. You just said a mouthful. So let's back up, and the first part of that was sustainable food. Can you tell us what sustainable means?
So sustainability is a new term, part of this paradigm shift that we're seeing in, amongst our culture right now. To me, sustainability is a long-term ideal, but it really plays into the complex of environmental consciousness, social consciousness, and all those in between. So as we know, nature is an interesting thing. We are nature. Nature comes from everything. We all live on this planet together, and we have impacts as such. We are now facing tremendous challenges given the transgressions of the past. Transgressions?
Yeah.
Given transgressions of the past, I believe that these are all part of a natural evolution towards this new paradigm shift. And we're working to address the various things such as pollution, global warming, the destruction of habitats for natural species, and so bringing all these together is how I view sustainability. Sustainable food, I think, is a concept that we're working to address. It's a goal that's kind of seeking its own definition, and sustainable food. Sorry, let's start over. So sustainable food goes into all that goes into the food system. Everybody eats, and our choices have a vast impact, not just on the environment at large, but also on the consequences of each other. So we are working to create a food system that is economically viable, socially just, and environmentally conscious.
Okay, so when you're talking about this, you're talking about a group of folks who meet on a regular basis, who are from different walks of life, I assume. What group types of people would join are parts of San Diego Roots?
Well, if anybody eats, I like to think that they are a part of San Diego Roots. Everybody in San Diego eats, and everybody has a role or participates in that process along the way. So whether you shop at a farmer's market, you eat at restaurants, you cook with your family, or whether you come to our meetings. Our meetings are a diverse group of chefs, activists, students, professors, researchers, professionals, and we get together regularly on Mondays to discuss our project updates and develop new projects. We also are governed by a board of directors, and they oversee the development of the organization.
So these are all people who are volunteering to come to this group. So a chef, why would a chef come to your group?
Well, a chef has to purchase food and make sure that they have the highest quality food for their restaurant. So oftentimes the highest quality food is that which comes from us locally. Local food is typically more fresh, it's higher in nutrients given that it's been picked more recently and doesn't have to deal with the long distances that food is shipped. There's a statistic that our average piece of food in America right now travels over 1,500 miles, losing flavor and nutrients along the way. And that affects not just us, but in the transportation, greenhouse gas emissions are given back to the environment, and the economies of these farmers are affected as well. So by supporting a local farm, you're supporting local economies, and we're keeping our money in our communities as such.
When you talk about the San Diego area, which is where Roots is, are we unique in that the average is 1,500, or is that true all over the United States? Does the Midwest have less of a traveling issue, or do they buy more local food?
Well, I think it varies by region. Here in San Diego, we're quite blessed to have a year-round growing season, some of the best climates, probably the best growing climate in the world to grow produce year-round. So as a region, we actually have a very vibrant farm economy still. We have the 7th largest farm economy in the United States. We have over 6,500 small farms. However, most of those farms are actually growing palms and other nursery crops, flowers, all for export. So we're shipping our most valuable product, our soil, our water, we're shipping it away. Of the edible crops, the vast majority of those, almost 75%, are citrus or avocado, again, shipped for export. So we have a wonderful opportunity here in San Diego to develop food communities that are local and that do support local farmers.
Well, it sounds great. Now, you have a website. I want to make sure we get the website up. Tell us briefly what's on the website, because it's so huge that it practically anyone can find out everything that you're all about by going to that website.
Right.
So, for example, can you tell what kinds of things are on the website?
Sure. So our website is www.sandiegoroots.org. And on our website, we provide, on the homepage, there's a list of upcoming events. These are ways to get involved in different varieties of the food movement in your local community. We also have descriptions of our projects and how to get involved. Some of our projects we're going to talk about today. And we also have a resource database for how you can make more conscious decisions about your food choices, what restaurants supply local produce, where the farmers markets are, and we have an entire list of farmers markets by date, location, and time. We also have a list of CSAs, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture, in which you pay essentially a monthly due, and you receive a box of produce every week.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's very cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I learned something today. I mean, I thought I knew a little bit more about this. I want to make sure that we include Emily here, because Emily works at your farm, La Milpa Farm. And Emily, you are an apprentice there. What does an apprentice do on the farm?
Well, I would say that my role and the role of all of the other people that are included at the farm make up an example of the food community that Matt had mentioned. So what we do and what I do, okay, hold on.
you actually get in the dirt and do some digging and weeding and all this and planting and.
Yeah, so I do everything from planting seeds in the greenhouse to distributing the produce one day a week to the restaurants.
By driving?
By driving,
okay.
Yeah. We make sure we only distribute our produce to the San Diego restaurants. So the distance that our vegetables or our produce covers really isn't that far compared to a lot of other distributors and a lot of other producers.
Because that's your purpose.
Yeah, that is our purpose. Ideally, we would be delivering this produce by manpower, by sun power, but right now
bicycle.
Yeah, exactly, which has been implemented in other areas in California. So we try to model the most environmentally sound, the most sustainable sort of food system that we can with the resources available to us. So we also distribute our produce to 4 local farmers markets where we develop really great relationships with our customers. And that's a really big part of what we do, because it's not just about growing food, it's not just about plants, but it is really cultivating culture and implementing culture in what we today in America know as agriculture. And so we also provide our grounds as a means to connect with the community. We have monthly potlucks once a month, and where the whole community comes together and we all share food, and there's no cost involved in these things. We just want people to come and be. And that's kind of my role, what my role at the farm has also become. I've learned to cultivate food, but also just to be in a way that is natural and feels right, and it resonates with me, versus a lot of young people today getting integrated into society in a way that is very, they're sitting at a desk maybe 8 to 9 hours a day, and in false light or whatever, or in these circumstances that I really don't think have long-term health benefits or spiritual benefits. Whereas what we are a part of at La Milpa is feeding physically, people, but also mentally and spiritually. So we really want to be a part of the future in that way as well.
Great. Now, and part of that being part of the future is bringing in young people for your tours and educational possibilities?
Yeah, I've been at the farm now for over a year, and in that time I've seen 3rd grade classrooms through the Waldorf program, to high school students from inner city schools, to high school students from across the country actually coming to us to provide their services to help with volunteer hours that they need to fulfill. But we then have the perfect place to teach them about almost taking a step back and looking at our industrial food system and how almost absurd it has become, and showing them an alternative. So not only producing food more locally, but being more concerned with paying attention to the environment and feeding the soil. We don't use any chemical fertilizers or any pesticides, and our goal really is to leave the land better than how we came across it, or better than we found it. So we're trying to cultivate not only food, not only people, but the earth, and not leave it barren or sterile.
And it's hard to do that, isn't it? Because organic sounds just wonderful when you hear the word, but it's really hard. I have a garden, and it's really hard to not want to put something on those bugs and those diseases that you've got in your garden. And it takes a lot of work, a lot more work than just spraying.
It does.
Now, water has to be an issue for you. How do you deal with the water issue?
Yeah, in San Diego, I think water will actually be one of our biggest challenges in the future. But right now, we are currently doing fundraisers. We've raised, I've heard the number is about $6,000, but we're on our way to building a well on site. But right now, we're on municipal water still. So we're bringing that water in from the city, and it does cost us a lot. And it also has to be treated, and that's something that we have to monitor regularly and isn't ideal. But until we get a well in, that's what we're doing.
I see. And if you have a well, you wouldn't have to have it with the chlorine, et cetera. Now, you're trying to raise money also for a farm. You want to have a farm. Matt, tell us about the idea that you have for the city.
Yeah, so one of our driving projects and essential facets of San Diego Roots is to be an educational organization for the San Diego community. Since the inception of the organization, we've been looking for farmland within about 30 minutes of downtown San Diego so that to develop an educational farm. Our focus is to provide similarly what La Milpa is doing, but in a place that's accessible for the major metropolitan, the major populated area of San Diego, and in a place that's accessible so that the children are spending more time out in the fields and learning about things like water and pest management rather than spending time sitting in the bus together.
No, it's a great idea,
Yeah.
and yet it's really hard to get someone willing to give up the valuable land that we have in
right.
San Diego City.
Yeah, we've been looking for about 4 or 5 years to find a
Oh,
viable
wow.
piece of land, and we have
Wow.
certain considerations along the way,
Yeah.
and we are still looking.
All
so,
right.
Yeah.
Now, we have a video that's also available on your website, and I want to show it to our viewers now.
Cool.
So let's take a look at it.
Okay.
Have you ever visited a farm? Do you want to support our local farmers and economy? We are San Diego Roots Sustainable Food Project, a network of citizens, farmers, chefs, gardeners, teachers, and students working to encourage the growth and consumption of regional food. Our mission is to educate, cultivate, and empower sustainable food communities in San Diego County. From farm to fork, we focus awareness and work toward a more ecologically sound, economically viable, and socially just food system in San Diego. By eating locally, not only do you get fresher, better tasting food, but you also help support family farms and encourage a vibrant local economy. Do you live in San Diego County? Then you are part of the San Diego food community. Think of our food system as a circle, each of us interdependent and connected with every other part of the circle. Eating is an environmental act, where you buy your food and what you put in your mouth not only affects you and your health, but that of your neighbors and the environment as well. San Diego Roots was formed to strengthen the local food movement in San Diego region and to create a sustainable urban-rural partnership that brings healthy local food to our communities and sustains the working landscapes and people that feed us. San Diego Roots Sustainable Food Project is currently working on a few projects. In the heart of downtown San Diego, Roots has partnered with San Diego City College to create the Seeds at City Urban Farm. In June of 2008, teams of students and community members created a thriving farm where there was once a lawn. Now, student interns and community members are learning how to grow delicious, fresh food. Roots also helped form Victory Gardens San Diego, a program that fosters home, school, and community gardens all over the county. VGSD sponsors weekend garden installations where a dozen volunteers build a garden in a day and offers organic garden classes throughout the year. Victory Gardens San Diego is a collaborative effort of over a dozen food awareness and gardening groups in our area. In conjunction with the San Diego Unified School District, Roots has helped create a 4,000 square foot organic garden learning center at Morse High School in Southeast San Diego. Roots is also in the process of acquiring a piece of land in the San Diego area to create a local organic educational farm that will support ecologically sustainable agriculture while offering community members the opportunity to connect with food sources and grow their own food toward a sustainable and delicious future.
And now we're back with two more guests. I have Bob Greenemeyer, Director of Victory Gardens San Diego, and Julia Dash, Farm Manager and Educator for Seeds at City Urban Farm. And Bob, let's start with you.
Okay.
You have brought the farming concept to the city. Tell us about that whole project.
Well, it started about 2 years ago in the planning phase at a Roots action meeting. And somebody just said, wouldn't it be great if we could encourage people to grow food in their backyards? And so everybody said, yeah, that sounds great. Who wants to do it? I said, well, I'll try it. And we developed a consortium of a lot of different food and gardening groups throughout San Diego. And it was interesting to see how many there are when we went, gathered the information from a lot of different people. Got them together at a table and sat and chatted for probably about a year and refined and defined our mission statement until we changed our name a couple of times and finally became Victory Gardens San Diego with our definite specific mission of educating and assisting people in developing home, school, and community gardens. We started as a home garden idea, but quickly shifted to school and community assistance as well, because we had people there who represented those activities as well. So we began real active in-the-ground building about a year ago. It'll be a year in late March will be our anniversary.
Pardon me for interrupting, but before we get any further, Victory Garden, for some people out there who don't know what a Victory Garden was, can you explain briefly what Victory Garden means
Sure.
to us old folks?
Sure. In World War II, when lots of the resources were going to the war effort over in Europe and other theaters, people at home had to make do and be self-sustainable. And so one of those aspects was growing your own food. So you can see old photographs if you go online to a variety of places, and we have some old war posters of advertising Victory Gardens from back in World War II. But you can see people growing behind their apartment plots in New York and all over the country. It was a very united effort.
Patriotic.
Yeah, exactly. And we think that today the same kind of thing can hold true with people becoming more self-sustainable and more aware really of where their food comes from and gaining a greater appreciation for it.
Well, it's a great idea, but it sounds so wonderful. I know it can't be that easy.
It's a challenge in terms of taking a project from a person contacting us. Basically, they'll either want a free garden or a donation garden where they donate to us and we use the proceeds to help build another free garden for a family in need. But we do a lot of pre-planning. We meet with the prospective gardener and find out what kind of garden they want. If their home area has a good place for a garden site, I'll call in a garden guide or a person with more garden expertise than I have to kind of help in that process. And over the course of maybe a couple, 3 weeks, we'll come together with a mutually agreeable plan. And then I'll gather materials for the garden, be it compost or plant starts or irrigation supplies, based on what we've decided. And then also volunteers. And we have a large base of people interested in helping out other folks. So I'll send out an email, and within 3 or 4 hours, I'll get 15 people who say, yeah, I can help on that day and help in that garden.
In one day?
In one day. And so we show up on the given day that we're going to build the garden, get all our materials there, people arrive, and our new garden owners are kind enough to provide food and drink, and with the garden guides lays out the plan, and then it really is kind of a neat dance to watch, that it's not all grinding labor, that there's time to snack and time to eat and time to dig and time to plant. And by the end of the day, the person has a garden, and they've been helping as well. They have a garden ready to go, and then the garden guide stays with them for their first planting season and checks in and makes sure that everything's okay.
Wow. I wish I had you help with my garden, but the idea of community gardens, then, it's not just for some backyard gardens. Sometimes it's little groups that get together, and do they do one together?
There are a lot of community gardens in San Diego, and there are a lot more people who would like to have a community garden. So our website is a clearinghouse of information about how to start your community garden, everything from the legal aspects and all those considerations to the physical laying out of the plots. So we can direct people to our website for more information. We can go out and visit. We visited sites to talk about more effective irrigation practices. So we can help in a variety of ways. We also do garden education classes. We currently have one going on at the New Roots Community Farm for some of the farmer gardeners there. So we help community gardens in a variety of ways in how to get started or how to work on a specific part of their gardening effort.
So, and this would be way more than just a garden that you end up with. It sounds like you would have a much better feeling for the earth and the world in general, but also your neighbors, and it would just be an incredible experience for somebody to have this garden built.
It's absolutely true. The first garden that we built, at some point you have to jump in and say, we're going to do this. And we all went into it, and we had our volunteers there, and we had a wonderful garden guide. And it was just, like I say, it was like watching this amazing dance of people working together, and nobody really knew anybody at the start of the day. But by the end of the day, there were a lot of good connections made. And I just felt at the end of the day that I live in a community, but this really was community, the people coming together and helping each other create something that's going to have a lasting positive benefit.
Well, it's wonderful. I really hope, I know that there are already people that are in this group that are interested in having you do that at their house.
Well, that's great.
Let's take some time for Julia to talk about the seeds at City Urban Farm. Tell us about seeds at City College here in San Diego City, right down by Balboa Park, right?
Yeah. We feel very, very excited about the Seeds at City Urban Farm. It's the first sustainable urban agricultural program in a city college in Southern California. And we were asked to help out about almost 2 years ago, June in 2008, to get a farm going on campus. Karen Klippel was part of an environmental stewardship council, and they wanted to start growing food on campus and teaching young people how to grow food. So we broke ground, and now it's a program, it's up and running, and we have about 5 apprentices now that we pay to learn how to grow food.
Oh, that's
and
great.
Hopefully we'll start a certificate program next fall.
That is awesome. I am afraid we are out of time, Julia. We need to talk about the website quickly.
Okay, absolutely. It's www.seedsatcity.com.
Okay,
right. Yeah.
okay, and we're going to show it on our screen as
Okay,
well.
awesome.
But I can see that there are a lot of things people can do when they go shopping to try to get more aware of what kinds of organic foods they're eating. Ask the chef, ask the butcher, ask the grocer what kinds of food are they buying.
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry we don't have more time to talk about your wonderful program.
Eat fresh food when you can.
Yes, exactly.
Locally grown.
It was so nice having you both with us today.